What's up, guys? We're back with another episode on Right on Cue, man. How y'all doing today, guys?
Not too bad, AJ. Long time no see.
Man, it's been a while, man. It's like you've been in just you've been hiding out. Where you been, bro?
Wit's egg.
I
Been witness protection.
heard that. Witness protection. What about you, Matt, man? What's been going
Man,
on?
I've been busy trying to get this what I'm calling the world headquarters up and going. I signed a lease to a site out in Pegram to be able to park the trailer there, clean it up, get a lot of stuff out of the garage. My wife is happy about that.
Yeah.
And so this will be just kind of my place to squat. There's a big enough backyard area. Put in some 30 amp plugs in case a team is rolling and wants to park the trailer somewhere or leave it for passing by, because I'm from 40. I'm like 3.5 miles right off of it, and you can pull in, turn around. So just been getting all that going, and hopefully here pretty soon I'll be selling barbecue again, because I sure need to, man.
Any comps coming up?
Yeah, I'll be this weekend. I'll be in South Haven at Springfest. The whatever that like 59th annual or something. It's been going on for a long time. This is a double. Both they do MBN and Masters KCBS. So I'll be cooking that and then helping out Old Booger Bear on MBN side. This is kind of a big for MBN teams. It's a big tune-up for what used to just be Memphis in May, and now whether you're going Memphis or Smoke Slam, to get some final touches, being a comp atmosphere. And plus, South Haven's 15-20 minutes south of Memphis, so you get a lot of the same judging area and whatnot, and
great tune-up for sure, like you said.
Absolutely. So, but
Houston, man, are you gonna make a surprise appearance to Aniana or Cleveland?
Man, I'd love to do both of them.
So I mean,
all right, see you there.
Be like last minute. You're gonna be like last minute show up.
Honestly, this is gonna be a lot of my schedule this year.
Yeah. Well, Logan doesn't do near as good when you're not there. So
somebody's
you need to show up
straight.
You got to keep him straight. He's putting his ribs on at 10:30. Chicken blasting at 500.
Yeah,
It's still get a call, man. I don't understand it.
The man can cook.
Yeah, man.
They don't need me.
Speaking of man can cook,
that's a good point. We got a guest tonight, y'all.
Man, we got an awesome guest, man. Freshly named world champion. The only man that I know can take 6 months off barbecue and double first GCA contest. So let's bring on Sean from Real Life.
You can get him going.
What's up, brother?
Not much. How are y'all?
There he is.
Man, we're doing great, man.
There we go.
There we go.
Put you on the hot seat.
All right. We appreciate you coming on and talking to us, man. We're gonna kind of dive in and just ask a few questions, man. But most of us kind of know where you're from, but can you just give a introduction of yourself, man, and how you got brought into barbecue and everything?
Sure. Sean Williams from Butler, Alabama. Little town outside Meridian, and how we got started was one of my best friends from high school moved back home, and we decided, hey, let's cook Butler Fest. And used to, Butler Fest was pretty good size. It was MBM, Backyard, and Pro, KCBS. And Myra Mixon, Melissa Cookston. I mean, a lot of people's going through here, and it slowly died off.
Just a couple people.
Yeah, just a few. But for this small town, I mean, it was pretty heavy hitters back then. But
oh, yeah.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
So at the last minute, my friend decided, hey, let's cook barbecue. So I had a Brinkman little cooker from Walmart, and he borrowed a grill for someone. And the first time we ever cooked chicken, we got a perfect score and won first place on it. So. And because everybody said, you got a perfect score. And I didn't know what they were talking about. I mean, I was happy to turn in something,
For sure.
The bug bit then, and we've been enjoying it. And, we did a Butler a few times, and then we decided, hey, let's go to Florence, Alabama. And deer in the headlight look is not the appropriate term. I'm sitting here going with a little over and under grill from Academy Sports, and I'm looking over here at these $30,000, Outlaws and Jambos, and I'm sitting here going, I'm in the wrong crowd.
He said, I'm a trouble.
And I mean, I was nervous, and we did our turn-ins, and we got a call on chicken, and I was
All right,
like,
man, that's awesome.
Heck yeah.
So I mean, it's a good hobby for us. I mean, we enjoy it a lot, and cooking different places, going places, meeting new people. I think it's really, really nice, and it's barbecue family, right? I mean, we all, we do our cooking, and then after the contest, we may gripe a little bit about our scores, but we'll go have a beer or go eat, and
It's all over.
enjoy each other. That's part of it. I think that's the difference that we enjoy the most.
Yeah, but I sit back and think, that's probably one of the one of the most things I look forward to in a contest is just seeing everybody and talking and just hanging out. Cooking is fun, but just hanging out with all your barbecue buddies and friends just makes it worthwhile for sure.
Yes.
Oh, I only do it for the Mexican food.
Yeah, but you definitely gotta have Mexican food. You don't want barbecue at a barbecue contest.
That's for sure.
For sure, man. But you talked about started off on a over and under, but just as the years came and gone, what kind of cookers do you use now?
Well, we had Green Mountains. We cooked on them, and I still use some Green Mountains, but I've got drums now, and really like the extra smoke. I mean, the pellets are good. Don't get me wrong. I really like them, but it's just with the drums, to me, you just get an extra layer of flavor you really cannot get on a pellet.
For sure.
So, I mean, we've been happy with them, and I think, to be honest, I think simpler is better.
Mm-hmm.
I really, to me, it's nothing better than lump charcoal and maybe a chunk of hickory, a hunk of cherry in there, and let it go. I still think that's, to me, true barbecue. In a way.
Have you ever competed with like a cabinet style?
No.
That's interesting.
No.
Yeah, that was my first cooking rig, and man, I'll tell you, loading that thing was awful. I fell on me several times.
Same with me. I had the Oklahoma Joe offset cabinet one, and man, that thing was so lopsided. We used to have to lay it flat down in the back of the truck, and it wasn't 2 guys; it was 3 guys to get it up out of the back of a pickup truck. Like, oh man! But it's how we. So you got to start somewhere, and getting that first call on it, you're the king of the world. You don't even know what you did it.
But dang, man, smokers that come a long way, man. I think drums is definitely one of the most popular items. Other than like an outlaw offset, but drums are just so lightweight and just easy to transport. Man, you just can't go wrong with it for sure.
Oh, it's so much more personal.
It is. Well, I think when pellet grills were first starting out, went to Grills of Mississippi over at Jackson, bought a Green Mountain on Thursday, took it to Meridian, and won reserve grand champ against Rusty Weaver. And I was like, holy crap, this is pretty cool.
Took it to Meridian, Mississippi, or Meridian, Alabama? Meridian,
Mississippi.
Okay.
Yep. And like I said, that was when Mr. Weaver was still cooking. And so we paid for the grill the first weekend. So that was really nice.
Man, that's always good when you put some little gas money in your pocket and get to pay for some of your hobbies for sure.
That is sure. So, but I think going forward, I mean, whether I get a small outlaw, I don't know, but I think that may be, the next future. But I mean, right now the drums, like I said, they're easy to move around, they're cheap. It's hard to go wrong with not cooking on a drum right now.
For sure. I definitely agree with that statement, man. But we want to dive in a little bit on that nice chick you got back there, Royal Food Championship, man. Can you kind of explain that a little bit? How that happened?
Sure. It was 2 years ago. Mr. Russ invited us to go help him cook the World Food. He qualified doing a Famous Dave contest. So it was me and Dawn, Pat and Lisa went out there and helped Russ to cook it. And I mean, it was a lot different animal. And I was sitting there, I told my wife, I said, I want to try this one year. And we enjoyed it. We didn't get, we made it to the second round, but we didn't advance. But just, it's way different from KCBS. I mean, it's the eat classification, execution, appearance, and taste. It's just a different spin on, what you have to cook. To me, it's a lot better than KCBS. KCBS, you've got, what the judges kind of want. They don't want it too peppery, not too sweet, kind of right in the middle. And you try to satisfy a judge. And here, you're cooking what you want to cook, but you want it to taste good appearance, but you want it to execute. So if you say your chicken needs to be smoky chipotle, then it better taste smoky chipotle. If not, your score is going to show it.
Because you have to write, correct? I think
exactly.
Well,
the bigger rounds you had to get in front of the judges.
Okay.
It was live judging there. But anyway, we decided, and I saw Famous Dave was having a qualifier in Hermitage outside of Nashville. So we loaded up, said no trailers allowed. And I was like, well, that's a bummer. So we got a U-Haul and threw everything in there, and it was 102 degrees under the canopy with fans blowing that day.
Man, that's
and
sounds about right for Hermitage.
It was awful, but we turned in, chicken and ribs, and they had a wild card. We could cook whatever we wanted to, and I don't know what we were thinking. We decided to do our bread pudding, white chocolate bread pudding with 102 degree temp, and it was a hot mess. And but anyway, at the awards, we won ribs, we got second in chicken, and we bombed a wild card. And luckily, Russ was cooking that one too, and he actually already had a golden ticket, so he passed it down to us. So that's how we got into the World Food in Indianapolis last November. It's you take like KCBS, a contest, put a camera in your face and really glam it up. I mean, you've got red carpet, you've got to turn in, TV cameras. It's real high energy, well produced cooking television in a way, because it's neat when you can go in there and look at 12 competitions and you've got a clock timing down and seeing everybody rushing and getting their plates prepared and rushing to the stage. It's really neat to where you can look at other competitors in their divisions. It's really different. It's really neat. I think it's going to get bigger and bigger. Mike McLeod has done a great job on that, trying to do something different, because I know he was at KCBS for a while. And then he spun off his own competition. And like I said, that November, that first cook, we did chicken ribs and brisket. That day, just nothing went right. I mean, just nothing. The chicken and ribs were okay. The brisket was awful. And the first day, you had to be in the top 20 to transfer. We finished 20th.
Okay, but you made moving day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we finished 20th. And then the next day, we had to cook the wild card round. So we had looked at different dishes and stuff, and we decided to do a beef tenderloin. I had never cooked a beef tenderloin in our life, me or Bridget or Craig. So we decided to cook a beef tenderloin and did some pureed mashed potatoes, garlic mashed potatoes, and some bacon-wrapped green beans, and I got a perfect score on it.
Man,
there you go.
Man, that dish looked great, by the way, man. It looked very good. So leading up to one of these contests, do you kind of got an idea of what you're gonna cook, or is it kind of just like on the spot? It's gonna be this, that, and you gotta kind of
no on the barbecue, on the individual champions, what you're gonna cook. And even the third round was, you had to cook a Cornish game hen. That was the requirement on that third round.
Did they provide the Cornish game hen?
They did.
I heard there was an interesting texture to the way that most teams got those hens this past year. I think there was somebody forgot to do something before. They were a little cold, dare I say, frozen.
They were. All of them was frozen. And
Mm.
I mean, we have never cooked a Cornish game hen, but I said, hey, it's a chicken. We're going to cook it like a chicken. So, I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't
Where the
try
hell do
nothing
you
different.
buy a Cornish game?
Well, you know, the plates, the turn-in plates, you know, after that second day, you know, we were trying to think, and we had to pull from somewhere, you know, our past and try to recreate something in the way. And, you know, the only thing I could think of was a few times my granddaddy ever cooked. I remember doing barbecue chicken on one of the original PK grills,
Mm-hmm.
you know, potato salad, and of course by then it was baked beans. So we decided to do that and say, hey, let's just do our little turn-in plates are only 4 inches square. So at first I said, how am I going to get chicken on here? So I decided, I just went ahead and did a thigh and a leg and just quartered the chickens. A little Cornish game hen is really hard to do with that small.
Not that big. Yeah.
Oh, it's not big at all. So
It's like quartering a pigeon.
Yeah.
so that's what we did. We quartered those, and as we was getting everything prepared, we had a cooks meeting I had to go to right in the middle of when we need to put everything on the grill. So luckily Craig put everything on the drum, and I spent an hour in a cooks meeting.
Oh wow,
Man.
I'm sitting here going, I need to be back, you know, cooking. But anyway, we, you know, got the chicken done, and, you know, everything was rushed, and, you know, you can only have at the final, you can only have 3 people. Even though we had 4 people on our team, you're going to have 3 working active at one time. So one of us had to tag in and out, you know, as we got to a task, like for us, you know, the presentation. Craig, you know, timed out, and then Bridget come in to help Dawn, you know, get the plates and get them dressed up. So that was a little curveball that we didn't expect, you know.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
definitely. Sound like a curveball for sure that you wouldn't want on that stage. So, you know, cooking one of those and, you know, cooking KCBS, comparing the two together, which one would you rather cook?
I'd rather cook the world food because you got you can be creative.
Yeah.
I mean, with
Something different.
KCBS, I mean, it's either a thigh or leg, need 6 in a box. It's got to taste good, look good.
You could turn chicken breast then. I'm just saying. It is
Oh,
a
I
legal
agree.
entry. It's risky. I mean, you want to spice it up. That's that get you some.
But you know, you can be creative there because you turn in sides with it. So it's a little bit more creativity there to me.
Is that something you feel like KCBS is lacking? I know we have talked about it on this show before, and I don't want to come off as just taking a dump on KCBS just every time this topic comes up. But I do hear this from time to time that people feel like the format of the KCBS tournament does not promote you being creative. In fact, it kind of moves everybody towards the middle, and I'm always interested to hear a cook at y'all's level, like what your take is on it.
I agree, and I think that's the reason, you know, we're looking more towards world food and SCA events because you got variety. You can do different things, and it opens you up more. And it's, you know, not, you know, like you said, I'm not trying to bash KCBS anything else, but you know, just cooking the 4 meats time over time gets old at time, and this is something refreshing and new. And so I think to me, it's just a different challenge, you know, different spin on doing something you're already doing. But, you know, we're probably going to cook some SCAs just to, you know, do some ancillaries and stuff. And hopefully maybe try to get a gold ticket in on the dessert side to go to world food. Because the SCAs do have qualifiers. KCBS don't even have a qualifier getting world food.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's opportunities.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. And right now, there's not a whole lot of qualifiers for famous days. Most of them are way off in California or way up north. So
I did look at that this year because the one in Hermitage was, to me, closest. I actually had a chance to go, but he couldn't make it. We were going on a cruise with the family for my parents' anniversary. And I, but anyway, and so I looked this year, and the closest one, at least, here, Middle Tennessee is, I think in Illinois, or no, Indianapolis. And it's like next weekend or something like that.
Right.
About 5-hour drive, more or less, from Nashville. But man, and those are from the outside look, I hadn't cooked, but they're fun because if I'm not mistaken, Famous Dave capped it at 10 teams. It was chicken ribs. You had to do people's choice, which was what chicken wings they provided.
Yep.
And then, anything but, or, whatever you want, a kind of other dish. And you could, if I'm not mistaken, I think somewhere along the way, since they've been doing this, you could get a golden ticket just off your wings you cook for the public.
You could. Yes. They gave away 3 golden tickets to that event. So,
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a little different. And, what was kind of nerve-wracking is that second day we turned in our dish and there was Famous Dave sitting on the judge table.
Yeah.
And Kelly Whippen was up there, and I'm sitting here going, holy crap.
No, you're right, though. There's not a lot that's near this region.
Right. This year.
Yeah.
And, the SCA is the easiest way to get in. I mean,
California, Colorado, California.
Yes.
Vegas.
Definitely a long ways away.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to Modesto.
Well, okay, but that brings, so this year, I don't know if you guys knew, Memphis in May added a steak cook, and it is a golden ticket winner because Melissa Cookson with the World Junior Barbecue League opted to not host hers and whatever the background was at Memphis in May, but host hers at Springfest. That is a golden ticket entry.
Okay.
Not at Springfest, at Smoke Slam. Excuse me. The winners of Smoke Slam get a golden ticket. And so Mike McLeod and World Foods this year, man, they're covered up in Memphis cooks between Memphis in May and Smoke Slam. You got the steak cook, and I think there's a youth cook. That's a golden ticket entry for them at Memphis this year. And
nice.
I wanted to say there was something else, World Food, so at specific Memphis, and this is like first time that I know of Memphis in May and World Foods kind of joining up there. But adding that steak cook was pretty interesting to me. Little extra juice in the pot, I guess. So
you gonna do it?
No, I'll be at Smoke Slam. We've got,
okay.
We're gunning for all of the other ones and whatnot. And I don't know if you're allowed to do both. I heard maybe last year a couple teams double dipped with some affiliate teams, but really just divided and conquered. And if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, but I heard from the watering cooler, Memphis was like, look, if you register with us and we find out that you're over there, that'll be your last time cooking Memphis in May. So, that's above my pay grade. So we cast our lot. We're going for the $50,000 check. So,
I did just tweet that out as a direct quote.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right.
So, Sean, man, you mentioned earlier, you're gonna try to transition over to cooking more of the World Foods and SCA. If some of the KCBS organizers would bring more ancillaries to the mix, would that kind of drive you to cook more Kansas City contests?
It would in a way, but lately it's been more work than anything. It's just been slammed with work and shorthanded even more now. So, and lately it's been time too. It's just trying to go find meats, and I think that's the biggest thing here. I mean, unless I order, I'm having to travel 2 or 3 hours to go find something decent. I'm out to Tuscaloosa or Mobile. Meridian has. Let's put it this way: Meridian, I went to 3 Walmarts and a Winn-Dixie. Of course, they didn't have no thighs. It looked edible, let's put it that way. So I got some chicken legs, some Springer Mountain chicken legs, and I cooked Swift ribs. I've never cooked Swift ribs, and that's usually I wouldn't do it, but everything Walmart had was awful, and it's just hit or miss in this area so much. And that's the other thing is, working 50, 60 hours a week, and then trying to find meat and then get it trimmed and get it prepped. and then getting off work to go somewhere, that's been the biggest struggle. And like I said, we've got to travel so far, you know, where AJ's at. I mean, he probably cook 5 events and be 40 minutes from the house, you know.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah.
And so, I mean, everything for me is 3 to 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, that's for sure. Especially living down where y'all live at, you know. But you know, you're talking about meat, man. It's definitely got to the point where it's, you know, chicken is somewhat easy to find in my area, but ribs is starting to be a pain because there's so many teams around my area that's, you know, finding ribs. So I've been having to find myself ordering myself. It's a little bit more expensive, but you know, you got that time. You don't have time, like you said, running around trying to find decent ribs or just selling for something lesser quality.
Well, I can't order ribs because our UPS and FedEx is so awful. I would hate to spend $300 and not get there and it's spoiled.
Oh,
and I mean, we only got 2 pickups a week in Butler for UPS and FedEx. So, you know, normally if I got to get something, I just go to butcher shop and take off.
Just drive down there. That's understandable.
Yep.
Yeah. The last package I got this week, truck was late, and usually the butcher shop, if I ordered on a Sunday or whatever and I ship out Monday, I get it Tuesday. So 1 day shipping. And the truck was late and I was off on a Tuesday and they was like, well, we're bringing it Wednesday. I called the guy. I was like, hey, you don't understand. I have meat that's frozen in this truck. And the guy would not give it to me. And I was beside myself. But luckily it came Wednesday and all of them was still partially frozen. So I was happy with that. So shout out to Butcher Shop for packaging it tightly. But man, I was a definitely nervous wreck wait for that meat to come.
Sean, I'm guessing you don't have a Sprouts grocery store around you.
Birmingham.
Okay, which, you know, still another. So for Smoking the Shores, and actually I'm getting mine.
Sprouts is fantastic, isn't it?
Well, I don't know what you guys think of Sprouts. To me, I
like it.
It's a diet Whole Foods or a Whole Foods Light. You know, they have some similarities, I feel like. Definitely Whole Foods to me is much bigger, but
it's a Whole Foods that went to a state college.
There you go. Okay. I like that.
It didn't go to a fancy private school.
I had found Duroc spares at Sprouts and with some really nice marbling.
Yeah.
And like 3.5, some almost 4 pounds. I don't know if you look at weight and whatnot, but you know, you try to get a thick rack. And they were what, $3.59 a pound, something like that.
It's not bad.
You know, I mean, it was about $18-20 per rack, and for what I was very happy with them. So if there's one out and around, or you know somebody coming and going, I'm stopping there. But Sprouts, I think, maybe dare I say, a little honey hole if they're going to continue, you know, that brand and whatever purveyor they've got. So
yeah, for sure.
You know where you can get a good rib?
Where's that?
Mr. Brisket, mail order.
Yeah.
Did anybody bother to keep up with the ad reads?
You know, that's one thing.
Yeah, when Matt told us about those ribs at Sprouts, and I was in Madison area, that's where we have one. I just want to stop by and look at them, and they look pretty decent. You know, I mean, they definitely ribs that I would cook. But the only thing, you know, they're frozen and thawed out in the counter, so you have to get them that week and cook them. You could refreeze them depending on how picky you are, or whatnot. But they are nice ribs. But you know, you kind of touched a little bit on dessert. So you know, in my past, you know, they got a dessert ancillary, and y'all usually enter and usually get a 180. So I want to know who comes up with what type of dessert y'all make. Is that Miss Dawn, or is it you, or how's that go by?
I usually find some and I let her pick which one she wants to try. So she drives that. I just cut them and put them on the plate for her. So
I understand that.
But
which is very important, especially if it's a cake or anything. I mean, them pieces, if they're not squared off and sharp right down to a point, you can forget about it. Like
that's like last up at Florence, or not Florence, Gaston. We did a carrot cake cheesecake. Never done one before. Now, the lobster would not cut good on it. but the flavor was there. I mean, she got third with it, but you just couldn't get the appearances. To your point, you just couldn't get it perfection on the slices. It was voids and stuff. And it was very good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's rushed because usually, I get through a barbecue, then we'll do a dessert, and it's a lot of fun. And plus, it gives her opportunity to do something, on her own. And hell, she's got more 180s than I'll ever get. So, at that first year we went to the KCBS Invitational up in Kansas, she tied for first up there, lost a coin toss to finish second. So that was pretty awesome having a little backyard team, come up to, the Invitational with, the big cook teams. And it was that was a really good day for her. And I mean, it just sees, anybody can, it don't matter where your background's from. I mean, anybody can cook,
Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
No, and I just say, I think that's the biggest thing is, coming up, we had the Puck Daddies. Puck Daddy was beating everybody's eyeballs out, and it was very hard to get discouraged, and expensive as everything is now, you have 5 or 6 bad cooks, hey, I'm going belly under,
Yeah, I'm done.
And so it's, I think everybody's got to have some, reassurance that, yeah, anybody can, can cook in it and you can do well with it. But, I think the cost right now, high as everything is, and the cost and everything else is really hurting all of the contest.
For sure. So for first time cooks, you kind of touched on, you cooking and you're coming in, 20th place, and you see the same old teams winning over and over again. Is any advice you can give to the first time cooks to kind of give them a little bit of a encouragement to stick with it and grow the sport?
Yeah, I mean, get out and talk to people. I mean, because I started, asking Puck, what are you doing? Or Pat. I mean, Pat Swindle helped me morning, and Russ did too. Hey, try this, try that. Get out and talk to other people. They're not going to give you a recipe, but they can give you pointers. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you want to turn into the best plate you can do. And if I know I don't have a good plate, and AJ, you cook a good plate and you turn in, I'm going to clap for you, pull for you, right? I mean, and that's the difference with barbecue. I think it's the difference. As we support each other, and I think getting the younger, newer cooks into that mindset and getting it to people helping you and asking the right questions at some of these cooks to where you can elevate your turn-ins better that's the only way to go. And plus, I mean, you've got all these new online cooking videos and stuff, and I mean, they're everywhere, but it's hard to beat that hands-on,
Sure.
It's like computer-based training. Yeah, we check the box. It works good. Hey, you've had a training. Hey, you're all good. But listen, end of the day, it's hard to beat, hands-on and face-to-face.
For sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we've talked with a lot of guests about that. Is that I feel like just how available and accessible these barbecue classes are nowadays. I mean, for the price of like a decent grill, you can get access to like 30 hours of premium online cooking classes from like world champion cooks.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to, having to turn up and then, kind of beg them to share a little bit of, and just see if they'll be nice enough to share a little bit of their knowledge with you.
Barring some of the like hip to hip on-site cooks, for the cost of what you have in one contest, you could go take XYZ person who you revere, is established, etc., and go take their class. That's a huge jumping point. The difficulty, right? Because we want to go cook. We don't want to just go cook, do that class. We want to go cook the contest. And I think that's a big differentiator between some teams who maybe are so a little bit arrogant, maybe hadn't got whooped up and, DALs enough. But if you fall last third of the pack, you'll end up going to take a class if this is something you still want to get into.
Oh yeah,
you're just You're just throwing the money into the hands of the other people. I've said
sure.
that before. Like when I show up, I'm just a fistful of 20s and say, "Here you go, here you go, here you go." You just hand it out to all the other teams.
For sure.
Donating.
Yeah,
Fine.
I mean, I'm just there to, hang out and just maybe give them a sweat every now and then. But
I think the
Silent
other thing,
assassin.
yeah, I think the other thing is, go ask one of the teams that's doing well. Hey, give me a rib. Let me see what the texture is. What's the taste? What's your flavor profile? If they give it to you, some people are very peculiar with that.
They won't do it.
Some of them will. And it's, they could change the week to week. I mean, it's never going to be perfect or consistent like we want it. But I think that's one of the other things too is, trying different people's barbecues, and then, hey, is this something I need to change on my profile, or do I need to cook it longer, or how did you get this more tender? They leaving the wrap longer, or and I think that's the thing that we can help the younger ones is, hey, maybe you want to try this or that, not push it on them, but say, hey, why don't you try this or that? And so,
oh, Garrett. He's still chasing that flavor and tenderness.
Yeah, that the practice cooking turned out good, but you get real comp, it don't do good. But but no, we ain't really cooked a contest in a while. So cooking Gaston was getting back to barbecue. So we tried some different stuff. So all in all, we didn't do bad. Our chicken wasn't where it's supposed to be, but it is what it is. But actually, that sauce I had left over from Christmas on the river, it was still in the fridge. So I put it on the ribs and tied for first.
There you go.
I mean, if it work, it work.
Yeah.
But I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I don't change a whole lot. I may change a rub, I may change a little bit with the sauce, but everything else is the same. I mean, the chicken recipe is 5-6 years old. I may tweak this or change a little of this, but overall, besides cooking a leg as last time was a little different, but it's not a huge amount. I think getting the tenderness and the flavor where you shoot in the middle, trying to satisfy judges is probably that's easiest way. But
so that was going to be my question: are you predominantly cook thighs or legs?
I normally just cook thighs. That's just what I'm comfortable with. But the last legs turn out really nice. And I can get legs a lot easier than I can thighs. I mean, I don't know.
When it's on, it's on.
Yeah, it is. But it's just, I mean, they got boneless thighs or skinless thighs. And I'm sitting here going, really?
Yeah.
But the legs are really, there's plenty of legs, and I can get
there are. It's just all that tendon trimming.
What do you mean all that?
I don't like it.
It's 2 tendons, and you're done.
Legs are way easier to trim than thighs, in my opinion.
Right, listen, I can trim 15 legs in the time it would take you to trim 8 thighs.
And you could probably trim 15 of anything in the amount of time it takes. Well, I don't do any of this damn trimming.
Legs are
Logan's bag.
Yeah.
You roll the skin back, you take the tendons, you hack them off, okay? You, depending on, your shape and however much you want, chop that knuckle bone at the top, trim that little, every leg has a little dollop of fat right at the top, right? Just hack that off, make sure it's there, get your shape going, done. The biggest thing to me is legs is, and you've all seen this, do you put that bottom knuckle, kind of the foot that has the little groove, is it groove up or groove down? Groove it. That's the only thing that I stress out on my chicken legs is, well, this one is up and then this one is up, but that one looks really good. That's it.
John, you a groove up or groove down guy?
I'm trying to think. I think it was groove down on that one.
Okay. See, there you go.
But I mean, like, going back to your earlier comment about not changing stuff, how long did it take you to get that program worked in where you really didn't need to change it? I mean, was there a period where, you were abandoning parts of your program or tearing it all down and going back to the board?
Oh yeah. Whenever Putt Daddy was waxing us, I was changing too much, and I think I was trying to do too much, and coming back to simplify it to make it get your tenderness right and get the flavor halfway decent is huge. And being consistent. I think that's the biggest thing we've really tried to focus on is trying to be week in, week out, be consistent on what we turn in. I think that's the biggest thing. So, I mean, before then, we were changing, if we didn't get a call, we changed rubs, we changed this. And we were changing so much to where you didn't know what was working, what was working. And, we kind of took a step back and say, let's change one thing at a time. Because I'm from an environmental background. So, if you have a lab problem, you change one thing at a time. You don't change 6. You never find out what went wrong. So, I think that's the difference there. Garrett was picking at me last weekend. He said, one thing about it, you don't have allegiance to one rib company, because he said you cook whatever you can find. And I said, well, that's true. And I think that's something that Pat kind of taught me too.
Yeah.
Pat could stop on the way to the contest at DG, pick up 2 racks of ribs and wax everybody's butt.
Yeah.
Every other weekend. And quality meat does help. Ain't no lie, but learning how to cook it and how to make do with what you got, I think it's really critical on that. Because you can buy a Wagyu brisket if you don't know how to cook it. It ain't no better than a prime.
Yeah,
right. No.
And I think that's probably what that's something I like about the SEA, at least with the steaks. Hey, go draw a corn,
right there.
Keep your steak out on the table. And to me, that kind of evens the playing field and that. And plus, and 2 is you don't have to worry about finding meat or something else. You show up, bring your seasonings, get
already there.
Meat, draw the coin, and like Shannon does the Iron Man. That's really neat. To me, I think that's the future where we kind of need to go and try to get the cost down a little bit more.
I would love to go to a comp that, in essence, the meat was standard, right?
Exactly.
You get 16 pieces of chicken, 3 racks, 2 butts, 1 brisket, whatever for each sanction, but it's all defined. The price is rolled into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're gonna have people who, it's the same thing. You do it with a chip draw, right? Hey, here's all the chicken. You go through your pack, but then it's timing. Then it's like there's so many things against that. I could just absolutely see. But then, to me, as coming from a master series for meat, I don't think pork or chicken matters as much as ribs and brisket. I mean, if you're gonna spend the money, it's definitely on a beef, and it's definitely on a rib, because thickness, marbling, pH, freshness, all that stuff, like that matters in a rib. I know one of the most winning pork cooks in KCBS history literally cooked Costco shoulders boneless for probably the last 5 years of his cook life. I mean, and just it didn't matter. He was consistent. He knew how to cook it. So that's pretty crazy to think about, but I think you're onto something. Keeping it simple, right? You have to source what's around you. Now, and I'm not trying to get into your finances, but if you had your brothers and you had freezer space and would you be the type of guy who buys a whole case at a time? We talked about, shipping and whatnot, but would you do that and then go kind of separate them out for comps over the season?
I could, and sometimes usually I stop at stores all the time. If I see some ribs I like, I go throw them in the freezer, or go ahead and trim them, then vacuum seal them and have them ready. We just haven't done that lately, but every time I go to the butcher shop, I look at his ribs. See if I can find me some pretty racks, and have them, trim them, vacuum seal them, refreeze them, and then be ready for a comp. Same way with chicken. If I ever find some, have the time, go ahead and prep it and have it ready to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I got, it's like them double packs of Prairie Fresh Prime, ooh, that's a crap sheet. You know, that top one, they look good. You can get it out and it's got a shiner on the bottom one. You just never know. And there, I just had to quit buying those. I mean, it was, I mean, I was really wasting money. That's the reason I like the single packs better. But, you know, to the point, you know, each one of these ribs cook different, whether it's IBP, whether it's a
Allegiance.
I wish I could find Allegiance. That's what one of my favorites was. But even that Swift cooked different. I mean, I had it at 218 on the temp.
Ooh,
trying to get it tender.
That's high.
I mean, I don't really look at temp, but it just wasn't probing right. I mean, it just wasn't done. I kept carrying it up, and that's the set I turned in. I turned in 8 bones, and I put them on top where they could cool off a little bit more. But,
yeah.
Because I mean, they did a little bit over, but I mean, it did fine. But I mean, that's what your point. You know, if you can source Prairie Fresh, I know AJ, I know you cook with a lot of it. You know how to cook the Prairie Fresh, and you know those Smithfield ETs. I'm not scared to cook with them. I know they're got the brine in them, but you just have to maybe adjust your sauce or something. But you know those cook way different.
Yeah, sure.
I mean they're hammy tasting, but hey, you know if you adjust your seasoning and your sauce a little bit, I mean they can do well. So, but you know. Even the backyard, everybody, you know, cringes backyard, but it's so competitive. AJ knows. I mean, everybody is so close on the meat and the scores and stuff. I mean, it's just, it's who hit the perfect mark every day. I mean, even you hit it perfect don't mean you're going to get a call. I mean, it's that tight. I mean, there's only so much you can do with rubs and sauces. I mean, if you taste our profiles, they're all close together. It's just getting on the right table with the right judge and getting the right meat that day.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that, man. And, you know, you cooked a lot over the years and live and learn, but can you give us a story, like a kind of what have you done at a comp that you regret doing, whether it was, you know, just like a horror story or something like that?
We were at the Invitational in Gaston. And we had been cooking good all year on, you know, chicken and ribs, but we decided to do the open. And I wrapped my brisket in a double layer of foil and fooled around and poked a hole in all my olive juice.
Oh, man.
And that thing was like a shoe lid. I went and borrowed some olive juice from Pat to pour on my brisket, trying to revive it. And I'm sitting there, I said, never again. I'll throw it in a pan from now on. You know, I think that was, you know, most discouraging, especially a nice A9 from the butcher shop.
Oh, man.
Basically, it was a shingle, you know. You know, listen, things like that just hurt me on it. And, you know, but I mean, we don't cook that many briskets. And that's something, you know, I guess looking forward is I would love to do some more pro contests, but, you know, it's added even more hours to my driving time.
Yeah, because you know,
$300 Wagyu briskets hurt, you know. And
are you cooking the Invitational this year?
I'm thinking about it. I will cook if I do go. I will cook the open. I enjoyed the open last year, and I thought we'd turn in some pretty decent turn-ins.
Well, I heard there's going to be a really good barbecue vendor there for the public on Saturday. And that same person may or may not do brunch and delivery for teams on Sunday. That's just the rumor. It's just a rumor I've heard. I don't know.
And speaking of the invitation, if you do decide to go, it closes the 23rd. So I'm not sure if they are going to stand that. So that's 2 more days if you are planning on going.
Yeah. Everything is up in the air right now, but I do like to open up there. I think that's pretty good. And you know, I think eventually they're going to have to combine the backyard and the pros. I mean, I know that KCBS is pulling it, and, you know, how's that going to change things? But it's just so many of these competitions that have gone by the wayside. It's gone forever. It'll be hard to come back. Used to, I could cook 20 and not leave 4 hours of the house. Now it's maybe 10.
So speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, about few weeks ago, they came out with their survey and,
Mhm.
about having a 2-meet, 4-meet series. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's good for the organizers. You can get more teams for your events. I think that's a plus. The negative to me is somebody starting out, they're going to have to be on their learning curve really quickly to even get a call when you're cooking against that caliber there. And you may drive away your younger novice cooks. It's a lot harder, I think it's going to be a lot harder for them trying to cook. Even if they do 2 meets, I mean, you're going to have to be perfect. If you mix in the pros in the backyard, you're going to be perfect every weekend to get a call. That's the only thing I see that you may hamper your growth.
But to what degree though? Because I would argue from a measly old master's cook, top 25% of backyard teams, I can't tell a difference. I cannot tell you a difference between chicken box and rib from top 25% of masters.
I agree with that, and something that really irks me is if we got a pro in a backyard contest, why do you have separate tables? Turn in that chicken box and let them judge it as is. Don't tell them where it came from.
Yeah.
Because, I have seen a double to where they flip-flop judges. One day they did pros, and the next day they did backyard. And the scores was so lopsided because some of them poked their lips out, well, I got to judge backyard. It's going to be horrible. And they go in there with that mindset. Even though it may be good, they still go in that mindset sometimes. Yeah. And to me, it don't matter who it came from, judge the box on its own.
Correct.
I think that's the way Gaston needs to do it, maybe, is, you turn in chicken, here's your table, turn it in. And space out. And that way you can get a feel for actually how you compare to the pros. You're equal judging instead of separating your scores. And I think that would help. To your point, Matt, was, how do you get them better is, I think you judge us the same. Then you can see where you're at.
I mean, it's supposed to be the same.
Yes.
They just
most of the time you're right. Most of the time you're right. It's pretty close, but I have seen one that was really awful.
I believe it.
I mean, really ugly.
And we all have.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've done it long enough, you've seen one of those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you have those ones where, it's pro and backyard, and, judges come in thinking they're judging pro and they judging backyard, and they
just beat the shit out of you.
Well,
yeah. Mike Tyson.
To that point, and a couple weeks back when we had Eric on, I think he was a fantastic, just wealth of knowledge. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic with his approach and how he explained things. And if Eric, I think he talks patiently, if that makes sense to you. It was a couple years ago at the Invitational, if I'm not mistaken, the Open, because of judges and amount of team, they were not all J-Cup certified judges. And you had a lot of pro teams in there who ran the exact same recipe, right? They're just going to run it again for the Invitational. And the scores were just, so off the chart different. One team, gets 681 one day and 708 the next day. And it's like, whoa, like, did you really change that much? I mean, was it just all angel tables? Like what? But judging matters, and it's barbecue math. It's the fact of, and listen, we're not complaining. I'm not complaining because I'm the dum-dum who decides to do this week in and week out and give these people my time and my money. And then, want to sit here and bicker about, well, I didn't do. No, well, then you ding dong, don't go do it if you're just not confident in it.
Right.
No, I get it. I do. So I like the idea of the 2 and the 4 meat category. I think the thing I would like to see, if they're going to do that, is I think I would like to see them transition backyard back to true backyard, where it's not a 2-meat pro team that's shown up in a trailer to cook in the backyard category. I mean, it literally is guys who have done like a dozen or less and who are showing up with their, maybe a U-Haul trailer cooking out of the back of a tailgate of a pickup truck that just want to see what it's about, and limit backyard to that, and then move all the guys that are in our end of the backyard category into 2 or 4 meet pro. And then, we can all have something that we can take away from it.
Yeah, and I like what Shannon Graham does too, is put a mystery beat. Don't tell you what it is. You go grab the bag, go cook it. That
Bring it
evens
back.
the playing field.
Man, that's definitely one of my favorite contests.
It is. I mean, and that's, even,
Surprise, it's a game, man.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, we had pork belly one year, then we had bologna, then last year we had hot dogs. I mean,
Yep.
you don't know till you get it, and you're like, what the heck I'm gonna do with a hot dog? And it's
By the
like,
way, have you seen?
Mine just get to turning quick.
Have you seen the hot dog chip recipe that's been going around, or is that just me?
No, I haven't seen it.
All right,
Yeah,
and
I'm about
take
to.
your take your potato peeler, take a hot dog, peel the hot dog, and you smoke it or roast it or whatever, so it is thin and crispy, and it's a hot dog chip.
Never heard of it. Sounds tasty.
I mean, try anything once. I don't
Man,
know if it's in World Foods or anything, but
Okay, this is ridiculous looking.
For sure.
Did you look at it?
I just
Yeah.
It's definitely been a blast talking to you, Sean. Man, it's for just giving us your inside view of the world foods compared to KCBS. Man, it's just something totally different. It's something that I would definitely want to experience one day. I don't know if I could kind of come up with all the decorations like y'all do, but definitely be a fun experience for sure.
Yeah, and it's a little different. That final table, that was a different animal.
I bet.
That was, I knew we took a slingshot to a gunfight. I mean, it was, but I mean, you had some, even at there, you had 37 countries, 1,200 cooks, and 12 people come out of there to go to Bentonville and cook. And, 10 of them are professional chefs. That's what they do day in, day out. This is a hobby for us.
Yeah.
And we were happy what we turned in. We learned a lot, and hopefully, our goal is to win the barbecue division again, and hopefully go back to the final table, and hopefully we'll learn a lot, and hopefully we do a lot better.
Do you don't get another year invite for winning the category?
Yes. Yeah, this year we do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If not, it's $1,000 entry fee. It's
Okay.
pretty steep, but no, we're going back. We've already signed up, so it's in October this year. So
is it back in Indianapolis again?
it is. It is.
Because last year was the first year they changed it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a neat. It's right at Fairgrounds. Really neat place. Really set up really nice. I mean, if you get a chance to go, it's really interesting just watching the teams and the turn-ins. And like I said, it's really high energy. I mean, we had to turn in outside, go down the red carpet with, all the cameras, and it was cold, and, it's bad when you put a chicken on a plate and I'm sitting here, we used to KCBS, hey, 5 minutes, hey, that judge, I'll get it to temp, I'll be perfect. It sit up on that platter for almost 25 minutes before they taste it.
Oh man.
That's
and I got Harry. Yeah, got Harry Sue, I got Leanne Whippin, Famous Dave's. There's the judges and 2 chefs up there, and I was like, this chicken's gonna be awful.
Yeah, like I'm gonna give them the worst piece of chicken they ever had in their life.
But hey, it bit through, so hey, I was happy. One of them said his skin is a little rubbery, and I was like, yeah, it's been sitting up there.
Yeah, it's been up there half an hour.
Been half an hour. I mean, what you expect?
Yeah, but it's just a different animal. If you get a chance to go, it's a really different. It's just something different, I enjoyed it, and I say, if we don't ever get a chance to go back again, it's gonna be nice to be able to go, because they put all the previous winners up on the.
That's cool.
Yeah,
and I don't think nobody, a small little cook from Alabama's ever, ever won it, and it's pretty neat when we had Chad Whittington when he was from our county, both of us from the same county.
For sure, man. I mean, you definitely make the 256 proud, man, and we're. Man, just so proud to call you a friend, man. You're awesome cook, and just keep it up, brother.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me, and it's good to see Dwayne last week.
It was, man. I'm sad that I didn't see him do the work, but hopefully he'll get to come back. We get to chit chat. I'm just glad he's doing well.
Yeah, he is.
But man, we got a few more minutes, and we're going to bring back what we used to do a long time ago with Brothers Q Barbecue Supply Lightning Round. So it's going to be a quick question. We don't have the sound effects like Logan got.
I was going to say, where's the air horn?
We got a few questions, just none to think. So the first question we got is favorite thing to cook at home.
Steak.
Beach or mountain vacation?
Beach.
One thing that you always have with you when you cook and you can't say your thermopan.
Watch.
Clock.
Got to have a clock.
Right. What is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew at the beginning of your barbecue career?
I think the probably biggest thing is just timeline.
All right. If you could, that's a good one. If you could have a walk-up song at awards, what would it be?
What was it going to be? I had it over at got to have some Van Halen, so it'd probably be Panama out of work.
Good choice. Last one. What's your favorite contest?
Favorite one? I've always liked Gaston. To me, Gaston's been really good. Pusa Q's good too, but I really like Gaston. It's just we've had some really good times there, and we've had some really good success there, and it's just a great, beautiful place. Since they redid it, it's even prettier. It's really nice. Gaston
is always one of those ones that you never want to miss. Got a question right here from Garrett. He said, "We want to know if you're gonna show up for the Oh So Good Barbecue Festival."
I'm planning on it. I'm planning on
it. He said, "Write them down for Saturday and Sunday. Everything."
Don't count me on Friday. I'll be en route.
But man, it's been a blast, man. Is there any sponsors or anything you want to shout out and you want to tell the people where to find you at?
I don't have sponsors. I'm sponsorless, but no, I mean, I said thank the 256. Man, they've been great to me because I mean, we don't have nothing in South Alabama, and I think the other thing, since I'm on the Alabama Barbecue Association, we're trying to get this revived, and we're actually making success. We're redoing the website. We're doing a lot of things. So please go on, sign up. I think it's $40 a year. You still can get your points for this year. AJ just got a lot of awards. I know you wasn't there. You got a lot of plaques. We're playing money and awards for the top three. We're trying to get it revived, and it's been a struggle, and we're making some progress finally. It's been really troublesome for us. We haven't got it moving quicker, but it's been a lot of obstacles. We're finally getting it revived, and we need all the support we can get, because if we don't start getting some members, it's fixing to go away. But we're going to have a new website coming up soon, so stay tuned for it. And like I said, just want to get it back to where it used to be. Alabama ABA was the bomb back then, when we were doing, the Bama Q and all that was going on. So our goal is to get it back. And so we'll really appreciate it, if we could get more members and get it back to where we had it going there. So, but no, we need to get it back. I mean, I think we can actually make it better than what it was.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that y'all making progress to bring it back, man. I'm excited to see it come back, and definitely a good start, 2023 and 2024, and I'm looking for 2025 and seeing how y'all can grow it, man. And I just hope everybody sign up and bring this thing back and make barbecue in Alabama great again.
That's right.
Maybe hats.
Yeah. Well, Sean, I mean, we appreciate it, man, and hopefully we get to see you next weekend in beautiful Cleveland, Alabama, man. And until then, man, you have a safe work week, man, and we'll see you soon, brother. Thank you again for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. We'll see you, man.
Okay.
All right, whose face is going to pop up? Oh, it's Matt.
Whoa.
Man, that was awesome, man. Anything y'all want to say before we close out here, man?
Man, I'm happy we had Sean on. He's got a great story. Definitely his heart's in the right area, and I don't know much about the ABA being up here and whatnot, but it sounds like we definitely need to have this episode and push to everybody. Let's geotag the whole state, right? Stars fell on Alabama. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So the ABA, every state that touches Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, counts for points.
Oh,
so you sign up, you give you $40 fee, and then if you cook a contest, Tennessee, Georgia, or whatnot, they have points for chicken, ribs, pork, brisket, ancillary, steak, and there's no backyard or pro. They're all together as one. So definitely some good money, and it's definitely a good organization to get signed up, man. So if y'all not signed up, make sure to get signed up and start getting some points before it's too late.
Absolutely. Definitely support those local bodies.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Another thing I want to kind of shout out, still time to get in on the Oh So Good Barbecue Festival in Cleveland, Alabama next week. Features a Friday night rib cook-off association. Sitting there, I think 20-some teams, need 10 or so to become a Memphis and May qualifier if you win. We got, I think, 30 or so for Saturday and close to 30 or so for Sunday. So, man, y'all get signed up. I'm telling you, you won't find a better contest than Oh So Good Barbecue Festival. One of our favorites. Gary put us on an amazing contest, feed you breakfast, dinner. So, man, y'all get signed up. Don't wait till it's too late.
Heard.
Hey, man, y'all got anything else, fellas?
No, other than thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks for all the comments. We appreciate it every single week.
Great to see Houston.
Good
That's right,
to be back.
Absolutely.
Good to be back in it, y'all. Hopefully, I'll actually be able to make it out to testing too this year.
Over so, man. But as we like to say, as always, when it comes to barbecue, make sure you're right on cue. See you guys.
That's all, folks.